Hey, das sind Wünsche, das ist Quatsch, das ist nicht wahr.
En vivo, G4
Hi guys, I'm Chris Hardwick and I'm here to help you say goodbye to Attack of the Show. I'm like a priest on death row. One of the great things about working here is that we weren't confined to use these 4 studio walls. We went all over the globe and shot guns and flew airplanes and jumped off of cliffs. I even found myself at Maker Faire a couple of times inside a Princess Muffin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Princess Muffin just happened to Maker Faire, probably. But sadly, that wasn't what killed my friendship with Kate Middleton. We did all these dangerous things so that you could sit right there in front of your television and experience them in the safety of your own home. And all of our correspondents came back intact. Well, physically at least. It's time for Attack of the Show on the road.
All right, so if you watch Attack of the Show, you know that we've covered the mixed martial arts thing a couple times. In fact, I've been to Elite MMA before. Although last time I came a little unprepared. You see, I thought that this was proper fighting attire. Yeah, that was painful, to say the least. But now I'm doing it right. I'm here with El Guapo himself, Boss, the man, Rootin'. What's going on, Boss? How are you?
Good, my friend. How you
I was told you're going to make me a true fighter. You're going to give me some tips, some techniques.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Here, we do pretty much everything. There's a lot of back work we do in cooperation with power exercise. So, you know, these things are really good to get a real strong hip. And just going to throw the bell. Bob is great for aiming. Oh! You want to aim right at the jaw. Go for the solar plexus, the liver shot. You got to really dig that punch into it. Bob would stand. Here you go. Boom! Oh,
God.
I actually broke somebody's liver one time in a fight.
You broke a liver?
Yeah, I ruptured it.
Boss, I'm suited up. I'm ready to go. I'd love to get some pointers. What do we need to know to actually defend ourselves intelligently?
Never, ever take your eyes off your opponent. Look here. Don't look at his eyes. You look at my eyes. This is my favorite setup for a liver punch. I give one hook to the head. No, don't worry. You block it.
Yeah.
Boom. See, I load up again for another one, but this one is going to the body. And why he didn't defend it was because I was looking straight at his eyes. Distance, very important. Here, as you can understand, there's no power in my punch. Sure. You need to create punch distance. The longer a punch travels, the more power it is.
I think I'm ready.
Okay.
What's going on? How you doing? Good. Is that a mouth guard? Yeah, I'd highly recommend that.
Hey, shake hands.
Oh, it's done. Pass, just pass. Get it over.
Look at this nice display of showmanship.
That's great, thank you. Boz, what's that over there?
I know.
Bueno, distance. Distance. You never take your eye off the opponent.
Just a couple of minutes in the ring, anybody.
Never take your eyes off your opponent. You got it. Oh, you got it.
All right, boss, thank you so much for showing me the ropes. I really appreciate the tips. It was amazing. But for those at home who aren't fortunate enough to get in the ring with you, what's the next best thing to do?
www.mmattoday.com. You're too close.
In 2007, a little indie film called Star Wars celebrated its 30th anniversary. Zach Selwyn went to the outskirts of San Diego to witness amateur rocket builders pay tribute to the film by launching their own creations, including a quarter-scale Y-Wing and a life-size X-Wing at Plaster Wars 2007.
Zach Stone here. I'm out at Plaster Wars in the deserts just outside of San Diego where they're launching rockets way up in the sky. I'm talking up to 25,000 feet. Not only that, they got an actual life-size X-Wing fighter here that they're going to launch in just a couple of minutes. R2, think I can get a ride back to G4? Thanks, buddy. Droids.
Well, this is Plaster Blaster 6. We're calling it Plaster Wars in celebration of the 30th anniversary of the Star Wars movie. And a bunch of amateur rocketeers out in the desert looking forward to a great day of flying.
Nicely done, man. How high up do you think that thing went? Probably around 23 to 25,000 feet. It's still going up. One of the big three things that people are here to see is the launch of the Y-Wing. This is a quarter-scale model of an actual Y-Wing fighter from, of course, Star Wars. The details extraordinary. Well done.
Thank you. From the design through the total build, took us a little over 9 months.
Is this thing going to go high? How much, height and distance do you expect out of this?
We expect it to get up to at least 1,000 or 2,000 feet. It should get pretty up there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right now, I feel like we're at the crash site of Area 51. What do we got going on here?
We lost a bunch of electronics there.
How far up did it get before it kind of came apart?
About between 50 and 100 feet.
So overall, a successful launch?
Yeah, it's good. As long as the chutes come out and didn't hurt anybody, we're good to go.
You put this thing together. It's awesome.
Our club did, yeah. It took us about 9 months. She's ready.
What did you guys put into this cash-wise? Can you talk about it?
A lot. We got about $7 grand into it, I think.
You guys excited? This thing got up. That was a task in itself.
We're trying to get it off the ground. It was a task, yes.
How many chutes you got in it?
We got 3 30-foot chutes. We have 4 great big motors, weighs 538 pounds, 23 feet long, 19-foot wingspan.
How high do you expect this thing to go?
Which piece?
In a race against the setting sun with no strings or special effects, an X-Wing takes flight.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, we got a liftoff shot. That was impressive.
Congratulations. That was awesome.
We kind of figured it might do that, but we wanted the liftoff shot. Everybody's far away.
Dude, that looked like Luke Skywalker was taking off the Dagobah system right there.
It was fun.
How many feet up did it get?
I think we made about 90. I think the Y-Wing beat us by 10. We may be able to rebuild her. We'll see.
Well, we had a great time out here watching the rockets go up and down. But right now, the only thing going down is that desert sun and this here X-Wing fighter. So it looks like it might need to find a different ride home, huh, R2?
Coming up, Olivia Munn and Kevin Pereira take to the skies for air combat. It is the closest attack of the show ever to being Top Gun. But in this laser dog fight, someone just did not have the stomach for the battle. Olivia.
Hey, if you're in San Mateo and there's a ton of traffic and a lot of people carting a bunch of weird gear around, you found yourself at Maker Faire, the premier festival for mad scientists, inventors. DIY is a theme, and people are really D'ing it. Why? Did you make anything for Maker Faire?
No, I just decided to show up as is.
I love that you found a use for the Mac Mini down here too. This is really great. Is this the heart of the unit right here?
The Mac Mini is the heart and the soul of the unit. Pretty much everything that's happening on the robot happens through the Mac Mini.
The best part about Maker Faire is they actually encourage you to become interactive with the pieces. Like right now, for instance, I'm going to go roll up on some bitches in my muffin.
This is a Rube Goldberg invention. It's 50,000 pounds. It's got 16 interconnected pieces, and we use bowling balls and good old American steel. Put it all together.
Life-size mousetrap. I guess that took at least a month to make.
Oh, yeah. 13 years.
13 years, wow. You're hurling bowling balls through open space and hoping that it's caught in another part of space.
Very correct.
So any predictions for today's mousetrapping?
All successful shows.
Successful all the way around.
Successful Rube Goldberg chain reaction.
Well, that's it for me at Maker Faire. I found the coolest piece of technology I've seen here so far, and naturally I have to abuse that technology. So I'm going to go into the women's bathroom now. Here I come, ladies.
Our military correspondent, Weston Scott, is no shrinking violet. But in September of 2009, he was no match for the Detroit SWAT team.
We're in downtown Detroit, where it takes an array of tactical gear and training to police these streets. And today we're riding shotgun with Detroit SWAT, otherwise known as SRT, the Special Response Team.
Sarge, can you tell us a little bit about SRT and what they do?
SRT is the city's SWAT team. We handle high-risk search warrants, barricaded gunman situations, any critical incident that's out there. That's when they call us.
can you show us some of the gear that SRT uses?
Yeah, let's go. You got right here, this is a 37mm gas launcher. We use this on barricaded gunman situation because it will go through a door, things of that nature, to go inside and penetrate the room. You have your M16s right here, fully auto. Classical stock, you got the polo sight. It's a very sufficient weapon. It's good for CQB because it's short and it has the firepower. You have MP5 submachine guns, fully auto. And these right here is the ultimate close quarter combat weapon. What makes this so good, it has absolutely no recoil. Then you just go right down the line. You got more MP5s. All right. You got your Benellis. Now with your Benellis, these are a semi-automatic weapon right here. You can shoot 5 shots before the one casing hits the ground. When this goes off, you know it's a shotgun.
Sergeant, this armory is beyond impressive. Can we take a look at the vehicles as well?
Yeah, let's go. Here we are in the garage of SRT. The two main vehicles that we use are the Bearcat by Lenco and the APC, the Armored Personnel Carrier. Oh, the Bearcat, what we use that for is all our high-risk search warrants. That right there can seat comfortably 12, but we can press it and put 15 inside. So at any given time, we can roll out. It's on a chassis of a 550 Ford. Drives just like a truck. You can get this up to 80 miles an hour. Everything has thermal imaging on top of it. It's a very sophisticated piece of equipment. Now, the APC is for locations that have fortified doors. We've had people put cement behind doors, but this right here goes through anything.
Sergeant, I understand you guys will be doing a training exercise today. Do you care if I tag along?
Not at all. We got something special for you.
So, Sergeant, what's the training scenario for today?
The scenario today is going to be a high-risk search warrant, and we're going to go in and subdue the person inside, our perpetrator.
Who do you have in mind today?
Well, today we actually have you, Weston.
I actually had a feeling that this was coming.
We got a vest for you. You have a little sidearm right here. Here's your sim rounds.
I'm going to defend myself against some of Detroit's finest, SRT, with lipstick.
This is where our exercise is going to take place.
Okay.
The dwelling that we're using today, we talked to the owner. He is allowing us to use it before he gets started on all his renovations. It helps us with realistic training.
Okay, my part. What do you want me doing?
Your part, basically, I want you to go inside and try to evade us as long as that you can before we track you down.
I'll give it a try.
All right, good luck.
See you in there.
All right. On the bang, on the bang.
Man down. I wasn't expecting the other flashbang, obviously. Obviously, my tactics in training were nowhere near the level of this Detroit SRT. Nice job, guys. Can somebody let me up now?
They say a person doesn't discover what they're made of until they're in the thick of battle, or they dissect themselves. When Kevin and Olivia, using the call signs Wangus and Soy, their words, took to the skies for an imaginary dogfight, well, we didn't really discover what they were made of, as much as we discovered what Olivia had for lunch that day, and for breakfast.
This is it, man. Air combat. Let's go inside and learn how to dogfight.
Is that a jacket or a neck brace?
Both.
Welcome to Air Combat USA. Here at Air Combat, we take you up in the air and let you try your hand at dogfighting. Once we're at a safe altitude, we let you take control, and pretty much from there, we're just coaching you through all the dogfighting. Before we do get started, you're going to have to pick out a couple of call signs.
Vagina juice.
No. No.
Back. It's like a on your back.
That is disgusting.
Dirty.
Black.
White.
Yeah. Asian.
I don't even know what that means.
How about Wangus?
How about soy? Some Asian.
Fine, we'll go with that. All right, now suit up and report for training.
You really are a cowboy.
What's your problem, Mun?
You're everyone's problem. Every time you get up in the air, you're unsafe. I don't like you because you're dangerous.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Mun. I am dangerous.
You're in the ladies' locker room.
Well, I didn't know that. Sorry.
Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Jim Newbar, call sign Nails.
Nails, pleasure to meet you.
Welcome to Air Combat.
Hi, I'm Baron.
Farron.
We're going to be flying some Marchettis today. These are Italian military trainers. And we're going to go up and we're going to do a little dog fighting.
The plane not smoking is the winner, typically,
That's right.
Okay.
When you come back behind Olivia back here and you shoot her in the butt, smoke will come out of her butt.
Shoot me in the butt.
And you know you're the winner.
I'll make sure you guys get me in the butt.
There you go. I like that.
I feel the need.
The need for speed. So how many G's are we going to pull in this plane?
We're going to pull about 5 to 6 G's.
How fast is that when it comes down to like miles per hour or what we're used to?
Roughly about 260, 270 miles an hour.
You're on the other side.
Okay. See? Blue sky.
Is that them?
Yeah, that's them.
Keep coming a little bit left. A little bit left.
I don't see her.
All right, okay now.
There they are.
She's got a beat on you.
She's on me.
Yeah, she's on you.
Tracking. Go.
Oh, she got you. There's the smoke. There's the smoke.
Oh, come on.
Transparent.
There's no way she got me that quick.
Well, she did.
Now, Wankus is coming back hard and fast.
Yeah,
all right, round 2 is on.
Get on. We hit the cloud.
I don't see them.
I got her.
Get ready, shoot her. Good shot. Way to go.
Oh.
Okay, I got your...
You makes me a little lightheaded doing this.
I'm sure for the millionth time that woman goes down.
Is it natural to get like pressure in your head or to feel like things are moving around? You take it some... I'm gonna throw up.
Is that a white bag in her cockpit? What is that? Is she vomiting?
You got one more to go, or you want to go back now?
I'm feeling a little queasy, but I'm not quitting.
Okay, don't quit.
I think I saw the bag in her plane.
All right, let's get ready for number 3. How about it?
All righty.
Holy...
Rolling to the next again.
Come on, Mike.
There you go. Right there. Tip your head back. Take a look at this.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
Hey. Oh, my God.
There you go. A little bit of back pressure.
Oh, my God, Farron.
Now, roll left. Okay, shoot her right now.
Now what?
I got it.
And track him. Gun. Cool. Good. All right. Knock it off. And let's head on home, folks. Nice job, everybody.
That was great.
Cool.
Forget Iron Eagle. I got the Iron Gut, baby.
Doing better?
A little bit, but I don't think I'm done throwing up. I have 3 bags of throw up. This is where I sign off. I'm gonna go throw up in the bathroom now.
Well, I think that's going to wrap up the old air combat here. I was in the cloud cover on the first one. I got her on the second. The third one, I'm still wondering how she managed to control the joystick when she was actually vomiting into the bag. I don't have a souvenir to take home, so I'm the winner. Sorry, man. I love you. Someone holding her hair?
Hard-hitting news is not normally the fodder for the attack of the show, but Kevin Faire insisted that we cover the BP oil spill to bring more attention to what was going on and what our viewers could actually do about it. So, back in the summer of 2010, Kevin and executive producer Vinny Rutherford traveled to Louisiana to see the devastation for themselves and even actually confront BP oil reps to get some answers. Fun fact, the BP oil representative that agreed to talk to Kevin did so because he thought Kevin was Tosh.
The time for waiting is over. Again, we're calling the Coast Guard and the federal government to force BP to act responsibly, either begin the work themselves or get out of the way and just give us the money. We'll get it done ourselves.
The BP oil spill is an unprecedented national disaster unfolding in the Gulf Coast. And although the situation is dire for those on land, it's far more devastating for those in the water. I chartered a boat to see just how bad this devastation really is. We're right in the middle of Barataria Bay, and here behind me there should be hundreds of healthy pelicans. To my ignorant eyes, I looked at them and thought, okay, they're just fine, and then I was told actually the color on their bellies, and in fact on one guy up in front here who can't even fly right now, it's actually oil that's coated their feathers.
Between our marshes, the flower gardens to the west, and the Florida Keys, this oil spill could possibly absolutely destroy 3 of the most important ecosystems in the whole United States.
The Coast Guard and BP have been using containment booms in an attempt to capture or absorb the oil. When you see all the boom deployed around all the little islands and everywhere, you assume that it's doing some good, right? Why would they throw it out there other than to give you the appearance that it's doing good? I mean, I want to grab them and bring them over there, but I don't know if I should be, you know? Yeah, don't worry. The oil that the boom doesn't absorb, the birds will. Everything's fine, BP. They got it. Mother Nature's got this one. BP has even hired cleanup crews to rescue oil-soaked marine life. The workers can't talk on camera because they work for BP. Look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this poor guy. Oh, man. Oh, my God.
This is how we're finding most of them. Because they got to get to this point before they can actually catch them.
We see what's on the top, and you never really see what's underneath, or you see the sheen. Over here, you can see clunks, and that's on the bottom. And the oyster beds are all over here, and that's going to be, once that's on top of those oyster beds, what's going to grow there? Nothing's going to grow there. If I hadn't gone out there today, I probably would have said it's not going to get that bad. And then when you get out there, and I did tell you I get a little...
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, when you see it, it's different. You know,
I followed the oil-soaked pelicans back to the relief center. You guys are processing how many birds a day? You said you had 53.
Well, we were processing like up to 5, and,
right.
You know, and now we're processing. Yesterday was 53. To wash a pelican, it takes about an hour or so. But these birds that are so covered, if they're lightly covered, not as long. We've been doing them in 40 to 45 minutes, but these are going to take longer.
There's crates set up rather for oiled birds and non-oiled birds, and so they keep them nice and segregated. But there's a whole pen with a tiny little net on it right here, and there's, I don't know, probably 10 birds in there that are just covered, I mean, head to toe. And these are the ones that they could catch because they couldn't get away. They're literally covered and encumbered in oil.
The difference here is that this oil keeps coming.
Right.
And it keeps pumping and pumping, and therefore there's no end in sight.
I've seen their attempts to clean up the birds, but what about the thousands of barrels of oil pouring into the ocean each day? One tactic employed by BP has sparked a huge controversy. This is a lot worse than it looks because they sprayed gallons and gallons of Corexit 9500 all over everything. So instead of seeing just thick layers of oil, you're seeing these little tar balls washing up. This is sick. BP is using a questionable chemical dispersant called Corexit, which is a solvent that turns oil slicks into oil clumps. BP claims it makes it easy for cleanup, but critics say it endangers animals, and the only thing it's really cleaning up is BP's image by making the giant oil slicks appear smaller in the PR-damaging photos. BP has said you would not use something unless it was EPA approved, unless it was available in specific quantities, and yet studies have shown on silverfish and on shrimp specifically that Corexit is exponentially more dangerous than other dispersants that are available out there.
We are using an EPA-approved product. We are using a product that has low toxicity, and the research that we've done into the alternatives does not show us that we have anything else viable to use at this time in the volume that we're using.
I've seen guys that have volunteered volunteered to clean up birds that were working for BP. The hulls of their boats, whether it's from the oil or from the Corexit, are being eaten through. And they're saying, I volunteered this ship to help with this effort. There's no way BP is going to pay me back for that.
Yes, they will. The claim process is not perfect yet, and I hope that at some point it will be. But we're working on it, and yes, they will be paid.
The chemical composition, the ingredients in Corexit aren't publicly known. That'd be nice to know what's in there so that people can do their own tests or come to their own conclusions about it. The Coast Guard said it's available, but online it actually says proprietary under ingredients. Is there any way to get that released?
It's my understanding that it had been shared with the incident command because of the volumes we were using it in. But you make a very good point about the proprietary side of it. I mean, obviously you can't share your proprietary information, but
well, I think you should share your proprietary information if it could be eating through kidneys.
When they pay us, we don't know. We're on BP dollars. It's just monopoly money. That's all it is.
Have you invoiced them? Do they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right now, it's great. We got all these oil people here. Yeah, they're paying right now, but a year from now, when they're all gone and it's devastated, like I said, then it gets home. You know, it gets home. It's not on TV.
I get the sense that people down here, they have all the dots. They just haven't connected some of them. And it's not because they're not capable of connecting them. It's because of the reality that they would face if they did. And what I mean by that is every conversation I can talk about BP's connections to the dispersant company. There's a connection there that BP has money to be made by using it. They get that BP has control of the Coast Guard. They get that they might not really understand how to solve this problem. They get that the politicians are telling them exactly what they need to hear, and sometimes they're being strung along. So they get all these dots, but to connect them would mean giving up hope.
When we get back, Allison Hayslip heads to the Midwest to help 1,500 gun lovers kill the car. OFest is officially named the Oklahoma Full Auto Shoot and Trade Show, but the highlight of the event is the crowd pleaser, Kill the Car. Allison Hayslip gets her hands on some pretty big guns and joins in the melee.
So G4 sent me back to Oklahoma's Full Auto Shoot and Trade Show to find the ultimate weapon to blow up a car laden with explosives. Awesome, right? Except they sent me in this. What do you think's gonna happen? Mike, for those who haven't had the pleasure before, explain OFAS.
Well, OFAS, first the abbreviation for OFAS is Oklahoma Full Auto Shoot and Trade Show. You can experience machine guns. They get to watch them shoot. They can join in and shoot. They can also purchase. It is a family event.
Now, my favorite event from last year was Kill the Car. Can you take care of my car?
We can take care of your car. I have just the place to put your car, and I think you'll be pleased.
Perfect. Now for the fun part, selecting my weapon of mass destruction. What kind of gun do we have right here?
This is a Lottie anti-tank rifle. The L39 is the model of it. It's chambered in 20mm Vulcan.
So when you say anti-tank gun, what does that mean?
In the beginning phase of World War II, this gun was designed to take out German tanks.
How much does a gun like this cost?
The gun itself is around $8,000. This is a 20mm Vulcan round. Ammo's about $25 a round. And this is a cannon because it's got the rifling band on it.
This is not a bullet I would like to mess with.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be on the receiving end.
Ready? Aim! Fire!
What'd you think?
I think I lost the side of my face.
This is the Russian DSHK 3846. This is what our troops are actively up against over in Afghanistan and Iraq, right? This gun is mounted on tanks, and you use it to engage light armored vehicles, bunkers, machine gun bunkers.
How much is this gun?
Transferable is worth around $40,000 to $50,000. It's Russian 12.7. It's equivalent to our .50 caliber.
And how much is the ammunition gun?
It's very difficult to get here in the U.S. It's around $8 to $10 a shot.
Wow.
And the range for the bullet would be in excess of a mile.
There's a lot of cool guns here, but I just can't quit my minigun. After testing an array of potential firearms, the cold grip of the Browning machine gun won my trigger finger over.
This is a Browning 1917 A1, currently an 8mm Mauser. This is an original, built in 1940.
So how many rounds per minute does this shoot?
Depending on how she's running, we'll run about 750 rounds per minute.
So how much does ammo for this one cost?
It was about 8 or 9 cents 4 years ago. Now it's probably a quarter.
And how much does the gun cost?
About 30,000.
So can I shoot it?
You betcha.
Say hello to my little friend and goodbye to my car. Oklahoma style, baby. You ready?
Hit it.
All right.
Here we go.
Our 420 specials were some of our highest rated episodes ever. These shows could have been an hour of endless giggling and chats about the best snacks and some zoning out, but instead we discussed marijuana legislation around the globe, the culture of pot, and in our Jamaica special, Kevin Pereira even risked life and limb to check out a grow farm. I think he died there, right?
Well, if there's one thing you've learned from this show so far, it's that getting your hands on some weed in Jamaica isn't exactly all that difficult. However, if you want to see the ganja actually grow, then you have to go off the beaten path. Even with weed readily available and pot fields tucked everywhere in the hills of Jamaica, marijuana is still very illegal. So as we neared the last paved road, we were forced to turn our cameras off. And after 20 minutes of off-roading and hiking, I finally caught up with our grower, Wayne. A college graduate, he's now a pot farmer. But to avoid any problems with the police, Wayne asked that we hide his identity. We've been driving for about an hour, hiking for like 30 minutes or so. I found a flipped-over car and a bunch of goats, but no weed. Where's the grow field, man?
Well, the weed is always hidden behind something, you know.
We snuck past pigs and trudged up a winding hill, but finally we had arrived. An incredible 2-acre ganja garden. I'm taken back. I've never seen this much weed in my life being grown. When'd you get started?
About 6 months ago. This is the second crop.
So it takes, what, about 3 months then
about
for
3 months.
seeds to grow?
Yeah, I have 3 guys that works with me. The first thing, after you get the land clean, you have to get in the containers, you know.
Right, which in this case are some Goodyears?
Yeah, man.
Wayne explained the reason for the tires. It actually keeps the minerals and water from escaping, nearly doubling his yield. How many tires do you have out here?
Right here I have 700 tires.
Each yielding...
a half a pound.
Just up the hill from all the tires in the little grow farm, we have the hut, or the dry house. Wayne, do you mind pulling back the tarp there? Bit of a green sauna in here. After growing for 3 months out in the field, we hang it up in here to dry.
It's my job to cut all the buds off the sticks. We put them in bags, and it's ready for distribution.
A former accountant, Wayne pulls in $50,000 a year by growing his ganja. But he's nervous about expanding his operation.
The more people you use, the more problems you might have. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Big E wrote a song about that at one point, I think. And what about future plans? Like, is there a place where you're growing any new weeds?
I have another field. It's only grown for pollination. It's for me to get seeds.
Is there like a bit of a weed nursery or something? Getting to the nursery was just as difficult, with fences and barbed wire blocking the way. I'm gonna lose a testicle. What's the goal here in the nursery?
To get enough seeds to plant a few fields. One female plant gives at least 50 seeds.
How can we tell what's the male and what's the female in here?
You can see that the female plant, after 2 weeks, it starts showing buds.
Okay, yeah.
And the male plant, it has pods.
What are we talking about? What kind of strand is this here?
This strain is Cindy 99 crossed with blueberry. I got the seeds off a catalog and website from Holland.
If the cops show up, what would happen?
We have to just hope that they're okay, they're cool enough for we to reason with them and probably give them a few dollars and they'll be all right.
And ask them to leave and say that they're cool with it on camera?
All right.
Yeah, I bet they wouldn't. Wayne, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure to check something like this out. I never thought I'd see something like this in my life, so cool, man. Thanks again.
When we get back, find out what happens to Olivia Munn's anus when she jumps off a cliff wearing only a tiny bikini. You heard me right. Stay tuned.
I've done some pretty dumb things in my day, but standing here while this car does donuts around me, probably not my best idea. Men are inconsiderate when driving, especially when girls are putting on makeup. What better place to prove my point than on the track with pro skater turned rally racer Bucky Lasik.
Bucky, I'm going to be putting on some makeup while you're driving me around, so try to make it as smooth as possible because I want to come out.
She's going to look like she's ready for Halloween, or she's going to look like a drag queen.
I think I'm going to look beautiful.
Can you tell me what we experienced back there?
We started off with a nice launch. I'm sure you felt the G's. We picked up some speed and did a little handbrake turn, and then we hit some apexes. So I think we might have even got 2 wheels up.
Well, you are an amazing rally race driver, but not so good at this. You want to know what rally racing is like? Take a good look at my face. This pretty much sums it up. Driver, can you take me home? And go slowly, please.
Head out into the field. You have to be ready for anything, open to new experiences, and have really great health care.
As you've seen throughout the show, super slow motion makes everything look awesome. It's a scientific fact. Look it up. And what is it that makes slow-mo so cool? It's this baby right here, the Phantom Flex camera. The Phantom Flex camera is a super slow-motion camera that shoots at 2,500 frames per second, records at 8 gigabytes per second, and all in glorious high definition. This camera was originally developed for the military to test ballistics, but the guys over at Vision Research have adapted the tech for TV and film. This sucker's called the Flex for a reason, mainly because of the interchangeable lenses. You can switch out any 35mm PL lens, which allows for a wide range of shots, or if you're too cheap like me, you can go ahead and get Hipstamatic for your iPhone. So taking all of those shots are great, but where are you going to store them? You're going to store them on this, the Cinemac. It's a 512 gigabyte flash memory device, essentially a ginormous one of these. So coming around here to the back of the camera, we've got our terminals, we've got a standard power cord, we've got an Ethernet cable that's running itself into the laptop which controls the camera, and we've got 2 HD SDI video outputs. So how is this camera able to shoot at such a high frame rate? Well, inside the body of this camera right here, there are a multitude of processors and RAM cards. In fact, the only thing that's moving is the fan to keep everything cool. So Jessica, you might ask me, how much does something like this cost? Well, everything you see right here costs about as much as it does to take me out on a date. A cool $250,000. So enough with the technical mumbo jumbo. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you destruction in stunning super slow motion. Can I get a yeah? This is cookie and egg Phantom camera style. Now I bring you Phantom fountains. Now we have light bulb bass motion thanks to the Phantom camera. What are you guys doing? Ow! Wait! Oh! Wait, I said not to
In 2008, AOTS traveled to Jamaica to celebrate 420. We're still apologizing to them. And while we were down there, Olivia Munn took on a tourist favorite, jumping off a 30-foot cliff in the ocean. It should be noted that she was not high when she did this.
Rick's Cafe is one of Negrill's biggest draws. It has spectacular views, wild parties, and, most impressive, this massive cliff right behind me, and the crazies who jump off it. For more than 3 decades, locals and tourists alike have been testing their courage by taking the plunge from this 33-foot cliff. But before I attempt to jump, I thought I'd warm up on the history of Rick's Cafe.
Rick's Cafe has been famous over the years since 1974. We are known for the cliff jumping and the sunsets.
What kind of people come out to do the cliffs? Are they a lot of locals, or is it all tourists who jump the cliff?
Local and tourists come and do the cliff. We have a lower part, which is 20 feet from the depth. People can jump from that or from the high part.
The view from up here is dizzying. It takes a big pair to even get this close to the edge. The locals throw themselves from atop that tree. My big pair, stay right here. I'm here with
Spider.
Did your mother name you Spider?
No, people.
Why?
The way I climb the rocks.
How long have you been diving?
Around 10 years.
What makes you want to come out here and potentially risk your life?
So it's about the living. It's an honest way of making a living, and then I love what I do.
They gave us $5 to give them any kind of dive they want from the cliff, $15 from the top of the tree. 25 feet deep, so even if you jump from the moon at this point, you won't hit the bottom.
So give me a tutorial on what I should be doing to be careful.
Keep your arms out for balance. Just before you hit the water, you want to put it in on your chest, by your side, or over your head.
All right, well, I'm gonna go jump. With a tip or two from the experts, it was my turn to throw caution into the wind.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
Hey guys, as you saw, I just took the jump, but I don't have anything to say. My butthole has something to say. It is literally filled with all of the ocean water in Jamaica. It is probably the size of this microphone right now, and it's throbbing. But you know what? I jumped this cliff. If you come to Jamaica and you don't do this, I gotta tell you, you haven't lived until you almost died on this massive cliff. My apologies to my butt.
Well, that's it for our favorite adventures in the field, as we call it. One thing all of our hosts and correspondents had in common, they had to be game for just about anything, ready to face a fear, too, and pretty open-minded about bodily safety. We did it.